My favourite Film 4 production of the last 2 years is definitely Ben Wheatley's A Field in England. Why? Well, firstly, I think it's a brilliantly experimental film. It's bold, it's brazen, it's different. It's unlike anything I've really seen produced by Film 4 before, and it's certainly not. I mean, it's certainly not mainstream fare. It's not kind of commercial fodder, and that's what I like about it. It kind of builds on Ben Wheatley's dark, brooding, experimental side that we last saw. Well, I mean, Sightseers was dark, but it lacked the kind of Lynchian madness and weirdness of Kill List. Um, so I mean, I really enjoy it in that sense. I also really like the fact that I mean it's a film without compromises. It's his own story. It's low budget. It's his own music. I can see that you guys have given him the green light and just let him get on with it and let him do what he wants. And I think it's a tribute to you that we can see that this is a Ben Wheatley film through and through. There's no commercial commercialist kind of ties and tendencies towards attracting a mainstream audience. This is very much a film by Ben Wheatley, almost for Ben Wheatley, and Ben Wheatley's fans. I mean, the people were talking about, oh, Julian Barrett's in it. Julian Barrett's in the first 5 minutes. I love the fact that Ben kills him off straight away. I mean, it's great. It's experimental cinema at its finest. Secondly, which kind of builds on what I've just said, the distribution method I thought was an absolute spark of genius. By having this film, which is kind of a low budget, very kind of quirky, strange film, a film which wouldn't appeal to a mainstream audience, by releasing it on all formats all at the same time, I think you've really nailed it, and you created a publicity buzz that that really drove the film forward. I mean, I was fortunate enough to meet Ben at a Q&A a few weeks ago in Rough Trade East, and we were discussing this distribution method, and he said that I mean, it was released in only a few screens around the country, but because of the buzz created by your distribution campaign, more and more people wanted to see it in a cinema. Simply because, I mean, watching a film on TV is great, but everyone knows that watching in the cinema is a far superior experience. And I think that's absolutely brilliant that a film of this or caliber and also this kind of ilk was able to kind of sustain itself in a proper sense in the cinema, whilst at the same time you guys having released it for free in effect on Film4, and also it was released on DVD, Blu-ray, online, all at the same time. So I mean, I think nowadays kind of everything on demand. I think your experimental distribution method was, I mean, it was a stroke of genius, and I'm not sure whether it would work in with every film, but particularly with this low budget, very niche type film, it seemed to have worked spectacularly well. So for that reason, Ben Wheatley's A Field in England is my favourite film by Film4 the last 2 years.